Texas State Senate Bill 4 is floating around the lower federal court with an undecided fate. We have more on the story.
A local group is combining their love for singing and writing to create unique art like never before.
Spring is finally here, and it is not holding back.
We've got the top 5 worst cities in the country for allergies, all ahead on North Texas Television.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is NTTV Nightly News.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us on NTTV Nightly News. I'm Chanel Young.
And I'm Mauricio Ortiz-Segura.
Oh, let me scoot back because that was quite the sneeze.
Oh, no. It's just allergies, I swear.
Okay, well, do you happen to live in Dallas? Because if you do, you could be experiencing one of the worst allergy seasons in the country.
That's right, and our live shot reporter, Chris Cordova, has more on this pollen-filled development. Chris?
Oh, man, that's right, Mauricio. Allergies are in the air right now, and Dallas is experiencing some of the worst allergies in the country. The Asthma and Allergy Foundation ranks the following cities as the top 5 worst cities to live if you have allergies: Wichita, Kansas; Virginia Beach; Greenville, South Carolina; Dallas, Texas; and Oklahoma City. The CDC says as many as 50 million Americans currently suffer from allergies. And if you're one of them, it might be time to get prepared for a brutal allergy season. CNN's Mandy Gaither tells us how you can get a handle on your allergies this spring.
Spring is in the air, literally.
With global warming, climate change, we are seeing these longer pollen seasons that not only last longer, but are stronger.
Dr. Purvi Parikh with the Allergy and Asthma Network says tree pollen may last through April or May, and then grass pollen will start to peak until June. Then there's dust and mold with which to contend.
What I tell all of my patients is start your medication early, right at the start of the season.
Parikh says preparing now before symptoms start can help control them. If you have asthma, she says to avoid attacks by getting on preventative or controller medicine early. For allergy sufferers, get on a regimen of nasal sprays and antihistamines, but get ones without a decongestant.
So that means without the letter D in it, because it's actually harmful to use that long term, like for allergies. But things like Zyrtec, Claritin, Allegra, those are all 24-hour antihistamines that actually work quite well.
Help avoid getting stuffy by using steam inhalation or neti pots to open up the sinuses. Keep windows closed, especially in the early morning at peak pollen time. Avoid going outdoors at peak times as well. When you come home, change your clothes, take a shower so that pollen doesn't go to bed with you, and use dust mite covers in the bedroom.
HEPA air purifiers work well for mold and animal allergies, but those air purifiers don't purify everything.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Hey Chris, here are the tissues you needed, and I must say you are not the only one who needs them, because with the beautiful spring weather we've been seeing, a lot of allergies come with it. So it is actually finally getting warmer. Right now it is 71 degrees Fahrenheit, feeling the same with wind speeds at 10 miles per hour. We are seeing a few clouds which will continue to tonight. It's going to cool down to 62 degrees Fahrenheit with wind speeds at 6 miles per hour. And tomorrow those clouds will indicate rain. It's going to be 57 with wind speeds at 5 miles per hour, and you can expect some rain, especially in the mornings. That's all I have for now. Be sure to stick around for full weather.
That was...
Thanks, Kayla. With this weather, it seems like a great time to indulge refreshing fruit and veggies. But believe it or not, some of these treats that are known to be healthy might actually be harming us. NTTV's Giancarlo Lopez has more.
Hi, Chanel. I'm John Carl. I don't know if you've been interested in finding any local foods within our UNT campus. May not be interested in any of these bagged foods behind us and leave us a little bit more clear. But maybe we have to take a little bit closer look at the surface. Studies have found that high levels of pesticides have been found in local produce such as fruits and vegetables that we eat. About 95% of non-organic variety fruits, from strawberries, grapes, peaches, pears, and even leafy greens, can be contaminated by pesticides. We just stayed by this year's shopper guide going over pesticides in grown produce. Nectarines, apples, bell, and hot peppers, along with cherries, berries, and green beans, have been labeled as the dirty dozen. The environmental working group who produced the study listed them as the most contaminated samples of produce. With recent studies, we see linkage between pesticide and health disorders such as heart disease, cancer, and preterm birth. The majority of testing for such pesticides and health concerns were done by the United States Department of Agriculture and government agencies. Though pesticides can be found in produce, we can be able to attack this by running hot water and on vegetables and fruits. Be able to look for any research found in the local produce. Thank you, that'll be all. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Giancarlo. Tonight, one of the most popular lakes in the Dallas area is closed because of a major spill of raw sewage. All water activities at White Rock Lake are on hold after 1.5 million gallons of raw sewage from Plano leaked into the water system. Plano officials say a leak at the water facility began on March 14th and spilled sewage in the lake at a rate of 500 gallons per minute, lasting over 38 hours. The city of Dallas says it will continue to monitor the water condition and treatment and will announce on its website when activities at the lake can resume. And now, while all types of pollution has increased, a new type of electronic trash is growing. And no, we're not talking about the trash folder in your emails. According to a report by the United Nations, the world generated over 62 million metric tons of electronic waste in 2022. The amount of waste generated has increased by over 82% since 2010 and has now reached enough to fill over 1.5 million 40-ton trucks. E-waste is defined as anything with a plug or a battery, and the list of devices ranges from old cell phones to discarded e-cigarettes and even broken kitchen appliances. And many of these devices include toxic substances and chemicals such as mercury and lead. The growth of electronic waste represents a hazard to both environmental and human health.
I'm gonna have to find new ways to repurpose my old hairdryer, Mauricio. I could use it as like a purse or maybe a new motor for my lawnmower.
Well, Chanel, you better find a replacement soon because our weeks may be getting shorter. Coming up, schools across Texas are considering a 4-day week. Find out more after the break.
The do's and don'ts of the Pole Rec Center. See that man over there?
The controversial immigration law in Texas, Senate Bill 4, is bouncing back and forth between the Supreme Court and a panel of federal judges who heard the legal arguments about it today. CNN's Laura Aguirre has more on Texas Senate Bill 4, what it is, and what could happen next.
Texas is in a legal tug-of-war. Governor Greg Abbott wants to start enforcing SB 4, the state's new immigration law that he signed last year. It empowers state and local law enforcement to detain people they suspect of entering the U.S. illegally. But it's facing a myriad of legal challenges from the Biden administration and other groups. And while those court battles play out, the U.S. Supreme Court issued a temporary order Tuesday allowing Texas to enforce SB 4. But hours later, a federal appeals court slammed the brakes on that, and the governor pushed back Wednesday.
Texas has a right to defend ourselves, and we will use that authority to declare an invasion and fight back against that invasion.
No SB 4! SB 4 has sparked protests, and critics say it greenlights racial profiling. After Tuesday's legal maneuvering, some cities moved quickly to allay those fears.
We don't want our deputies making arrests unless somebody has actually committed a crime.
It can be just by seeing somebody and the officer thinking that he's not from here and then asking for documents. It doesn't work like that.
But exactly how it will work is now back in the hands of the 5th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, for now, with the governor, the state, and the eyes of the nation watching.
What Texas is doing on immigration would be akin to them declaring their own wars, would create massive confusion across not just Texas, but other states.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
This back and forth move between courts has officials and law enforcement authorities unsure of how to proceed. But UNT political science professor Matthew Espas-Soha says nonetheless, this means there is still the possibility to discuss immigration reform.
To Texas's credit, they are pushing the envelope. They are trying to move this. The more it stays in the news, presumably the more likely it is that the federal government will respond with a revised immigration policy. At the very least, it provides opportunities for both Democrats and Republicans to score political points.
This is an ongoing story, and NCTV will keep you up to date as it develops.
A major labor agreement is finally on the books. Southwest Airlines flight attendants have reached an agreement with the Dallas-based carrier. The union's executive board will send the agreement to the flight attendants on Monday. This agreement avoids a strike that has been authorized by members back in January. With almost 20,000 workers, flight attendants make up the largest of Southwest represented employee groups.
And a different kind of work week is on the books next fall when St. Cyr ISD opens the doors. A 4-day school week. 83 school districts across Texas have already switched to this format. Those school districts include the Adrian ISD, Spring Creek, Anna, and Channing ISDs. School officials say the change in scheduling has had a positive impact. Teachers, parents, and students are reporting higher productivity, better mental health, and a positive uptick in their academic scores. With such positive results for schools, St. Cyr is hoping for the same positive results. The school board announced the change after last night's meeting. For families who need childcare on Fridays, St. Cyr says they will provide that option. Why the change? No clear reason, but the national teacher shortage played a part in their deliberations. Another issue is the lack of funding for public schools. Last year, Texas lawmakers refused to vote on a pay raise for teachers, and they cut school funding. You know, I've got to say, Chanel, spring has sprung, and I am loving it. It's not too hot, not too cold. Dare I say, it's nearly perfect?
I gotta agree with you, Mauricio, and let's hope it stays like this for the rest of the week. What do you say, Kayla?
Thanks, y'all. Like I mentioned earlier, it is the beginning of spring and it's starting to feel like it, but let's see if it's starting to stick around. Right now in Denton, it is 71 degrees. In Gainesville, Paris, Decatur, and Sherman, it is 70. In 6 degrees. In Houston, it is 68. In Oklahoma City, it's 76. Let's take a look at this week's forecast. This week, we are starting off with some rain and potentially thunderstorms with a high of 62 and a low of 53. Friday, we will continue to see some rain, a high of 68 and a low of 47. Saturday, it'll just be cloudy, no more rain for now, a high of 69 and a low of 53. Sunday, it will be windy and we will see some clouds, a high of 67 and a low of 53. Monday, we will see some more rain, a high of 66, a low of 40. Tuesday, it'll be partly cloudy with a high of 63 and a low of 44. Wednesday, we will finally get to enjoy that beautiful sun with a high of 70 and a low of 45. That's all I have for now. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Kayla. It is a lovely week indeed, and why not enjoy it with some lovely artistry?
Ooh, that's a great idea. A little bit of music and poetry definitely fits the good vibes going on. Thankfully, NTTV's Aaliyah Bordeaux has the perfect event for us. What's up, Aaliyah?
Thank you, Chanel. Who doesn't love music and art? A mix of R&B, rap, and poetry, Poetic Justice is an event that students and artists come together and enjoy. This week's weekly event is all about giving people a chance to let their talent shine. Let's take a closer look. It's not just about art and music, it's about expressing oneself. A place where artists can share their creativity and talent. Poetic Justice is a one-of-a-kind event that takes place on UNT's campus. UNT's Poetic Justice happens every Tuesday night in the campus union. Artists sign up and students show up to watch an entertaining event.
The reason why I decided to perform at Poetic Justice was because a lot of my friends told me that I would be a great fit for performing here. I went to a Poetic Justice event last year, and I was just part of the audience, really observing other artists perform and really seeing their creativity and talent.
Poetic Justice likes to incorporate themes into certain weeks such as Gospel Night, 90s Love, Pajama Night, and much more. It's a wonderful place for students to come together and enjoy talent after a busy day in college.
I really love PJs because I like the environment and I like having a lot of Black people in one space and seeing all the creativity and what everyone can create. It's really cool and it's really fun to see everyone support each other.
You can follow Poetic Justice on Instagram at UNTX Poetic Justice and Twitter at UNTXPJ. Poetic Justice has more fun themed events coming soon. That's all I have for you guys today. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Aaliyah. Mauricio, are you aware of how much you're paying for your favorite streaming services?
You know, I'm not sure, but I think I'm pretty happy with the amount I spend to binge my favorite shows. And I don't know, stay tuned to see who else is happy with the results of the happiest country in the world report. We will see you back here after the break.
Hey Alex, this guy on the internet says he wants to give me money.
That sounds suspicious.
What do you mean?
Typically, strangers who promise you money on the internet have their own best interest in mind. They often use bounced checks, which will disappear shortly after depositing, but not before they've asked for some money in return.
So he doesn't really want to spoil me?
No.
Well, then what should I do?
The best way to handle it is to block and report the suspicious message, or even consult local law enforcement if you've already fallen victim.
So I guess we aren't going to Key West for spring break.
No.
So a man's been walking in the desert for days at a time. He finally comes across a bar and orders a Coke.
That's not funny.
Eh?
A Houston bank was robbed last week by a group of juveniles the FBI are calling the Little Rascals. The trio consisted of 3 individuals, the youngest being 11 and the oldest 16 years old. CNN's Jessica Wiley has the story.
This is one of the first times I recall seeing that.
The trio, so young the FBI called them Little Rascals. Last Thursday, releasing photos and guessing they were between the ages of 14 and 18. Today announcing their arrests and revealing their young ages, just 16, 12, and 11 years old.
The age of the younger two who have been alleged to have done this, that's a bit unusual for a bank robbery.
According to the Harris County Sheriff's Office, the 3 boys passed a threatening note to a teller at this Wells Fargo on the North Freeway and West Road. They were believed to be armed and got away with an undisclosed amount of cash. Once the surveillance photos were released, the sheriff's office says tips started coming in. 2 of the boys' parents came forward. The 3rd boy was handled by law enforcement and recognized. The sheriff's office says they recovered a weapon and a distinctive item pictured in one of the photos. They are charged with robbery by threat.
They are entitled to have a detention hearing almost immediately.
Mike Schneider is a retired juvenile district court judge.
I was thinking either this was very low in sophistication or maybe an adult had something to do with this. So this is not an uncommon thing because kids have punishment that's less severe. It's not uncommon for adult offenders to get them to commit crimes.
Investigators will not say if the boys acted alone. Because they are minors, we are not identifying them. If the allegations are proven true, they could face probation or juvenile prison. Schneider says the goal is rehabilitation.
You would certainly want to have someone learn about these consequences before they're an adult.
Jessica Willey, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
Yeesh, it seems as though the younger generation is getting wilder each year.
That's right, Chanel, and I'm sure the little rascals aren't happy about being turned in, but who is happy? As a matter of fact, who are the happiest people in the world? Well, for the 7th year in a row, Finland has been named the happiest country in the world. Researchers account many factors such as life expectancy, social support, and freedom. As for the United States, the nation dropped in the global ranking from 15th to 23rd place. In fact, there is a level of decline in happiness in young adults compared to adults over 60. Who are the happiest demographic in America? This drop in happiness in young adults is also evident in Canada, Australia, and Western Europe. And with the decline of happiness here in America, we have also seen an increase in the cost of streaming service subscriptions.
That's right. And I wonder if the rise in cost is creating unhappy customers, or if customers are even aware of the rise in cost. Let's kick it over to Ashley Loudermill to see what those increases look like. Ashley?
Thanks, guys. Netflix, Disney Plus, Hulu, and HBO Max. If you have any of these subscriptions, you are not alone. Deloitte Insight's new digital media trends report found that U.S. households subscribing to video streaming services spend $61 a month on average for 4 services. That's $13 increase from last year's survey. However, it's been reported that nearly half of those surveyed said they will cancel their favorite subscriptions if the prices went up $5 per month. That's all I have today. Back to you guys in studio.
So streaming costs are going up, which might make it harder to watch your favorite games.
But our sports anchor, Mackenzie Freeman, has all the sports news that you'll ever need. What do you have for us, Mackenzie?
It's March Madness, so I'll give you guys some updates on that when we come back.
Of the Pole Rec Center. See that man over there? Please do not hog weights. Instead, do this. Another important part is having an attentive spotter. See, here is an example of a non-attentive spotter. Instead, do this. Now we head to the track, which should be pretty easy, just it's important to pay attention to the way the track goes. Remember to wipe down the equipment after you're done using it. The towels are provided by the gym, so it's pretty easy to wipe down the equipment when you are done. Thank you for using the Pole Recreation Center.
Good evening, my name is Amanda Hasbell, and I'm joining you here today in the Union. Good evening, my name is Amanda Hasbell, and I'm joining you here today in the
The Dallas Stars are out of their quick break as they take on the Arizona Coyotes tonight. These two teams haven't seen each other since the thrilling overtime game back in November when the Stars squeezed out the win 4-3 thanks to the goal by Matt Duchene. Tonight, keep your eyes on Wyatt Johnston as he has 7 goals and 6 assists over the last 10 games. One of his goals being against the Kings in their last game. Against LA, the Stars got off to a hot start as 3 of the Dallas members scored 3 goals in the first period. These goals were scored by Wyatt Johnston, Thomas Harley, and Craig Smith. Hopefully we'll see this hot start for the Stars tonight, as this will be a division rival game. Sticking with hockey, it may be a sport you associate with states like Minnesota, Wisconsin, or Michigan, but the sport has boomed in Texas since the Stars relocated to Dallas. Hockey has even made its way here on campus, and I was able to sit down with a couple of the members about the UNT Hockey Club.
UNT hockey has been around for a while, but just like any sport, it's had its own ups and downs.
Whenever I came to UNT back in 2021, they didn't play the previous year, so there were some uncertainties when it came to the organization. We didn't know if we were going to have a season or not.
Despite the low points, UNT has banded together as an organization and has found some motivation to keep the club going.
I think one big thing for our team is everyone here wants to be here. Everyone wants to keep playing hockey and they want to represent UNT.
For non-athletes, you may think hockey is just a sport, but for the players, this organization has provided so much more than that.
I think that the hockey team has brought me a lot of balance and a lot of fun to some nights where I would normally just be sitting at home. It's helped me gain a lot of friends and a lot of experience along the way.
For Brant and Bryson, this organization was more than just a team, but it's been something they've been looking forward to since they were in high school.
Brent and I played high school hockey together, and it was always like our goal to play college together sometime, and it just worked out with UNT being close to home. We figured that was our best bet. So going in, yes, I did plan to play hockey here.
Even head coach David Heaves recognizes their bond and just how much it has done for the team.
You know, those two, you can't separate them. Wherever Brant is, Bryson is, and vice versa. Their bond has really kind of been infectious within the group.
Bryson even took the time to look over what him and Brant have been through with this organization.
3 years ago, we were just the youngest guys on the team. We were always the babies, and now both of us are running the program. It's really cool just seeing the growth.
With the club having a growth mindset, there are a variety of ways to join this organization.
Usually we get player recruitment forms during the off season for people that are coming to UNT and are interested in joining the hockey team. And we'll either host a recruitment skate or we find more information about them. And it's an open tryout at the beginning of each fall semester. So anyone and everyone is open and welcome to coming to try out and join the UNT hockey team.
If you are interested, you can reach out to unticehockey.com for more information.
The hockey club will face off against Texas Tech University April 5th at 2:30, so go out and support your Mean Green. In terms of supporting the Mean Green, March Madness is here, and we can give a shout out to both programs as the men and women get to dance. The women will face off against TCU tomorrow night in the WBIT. This will be a great matchup as there will be a battle of the big between TCU's Sedona Prince and UNT's Tamisha Lampkin. Be sure to tune in tomorrow night to catch our Mean Green. On the other side, last night the men beat LSU with the score of 84-77. 3 out of 5 of the starters all scored in the double digits. However, CJ Nolan came off the bench and added a spark to the offense as he scored and led the team with 21 points, shooting 7 of 10 from the field. The Mean Green will advance to the second round and will face the winner of Seton Hall and St. Joseph's, which is happening right now. That's all I have for sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Mackenzie. Wow, it looks like UNT basketball is really going places, but how far do you think they'll go?
Well, considering we're Mean Green, I'd say pretty freaking far, but I'm crossing my fingers for tomorrow's game.
Well, you and me both. Let's all get some rest to prepare for the exciting day ahead. Go Mean Green!
Woo! And thanks for watching NTTV Nightly News.
Join us again tomorrow at noon and tomorrow evening at 6 here on North Texas Television.